All right, welcome back to the second day of Worlds, and this is Worlds Talk with OnePark, and
Lumin.
and today was quite the boring day of Worlds. Everything went as expected.
As expected, yes, yes. Actually, today was pretty exciting. A day of upsets.
Yeah, but, well, I guess we can get started with a game that was not an upset and completely went the way everybody thought it would go. KT Rolster versus TSM.
Now, not take anything away from KT Roaster, but only two people showed up for TSM today, and that was Bjergsen and Wild Turtle.
Exactly. Dyrus fell back into old habits. Santorin was non-existent. Lustboy got caught out once, but he had some good ults. Lustboy had some good ults that game.
He did have some good ults. It was just this game was I don't know. It's just the woes of TSM so far. TSM is playing pretty bad. This is their first game, but it was a pretty bad game.
Oh, exactly. They did that five-man tower dive, which was good. Uh, Lustboy had to flash to avoid dying. That probably could have been held a little bit better, but just to get that first kill to even it up, they blew, I think, five summoners. They blew like basically half of what they had to use on that one kill. And then they immediately turned around and killed Dyrus again. And Dyrus was on Olaf, when she performed well with in the playoffs, but it didn't translate here.
Yeah, and this is a change of pace for a TSM squad too. You have Dyrus on a carry champion for once, and I guess with the results of this game, you see why TSM really doesn't like him on those carry type champions.
Yeah, I mean, the first blood he gave up, he did not have his tower. He was really caught out. He did not have the vision, and KT Rolster literally just walked up, three-man killed him, I believe. He didn't. I don't know. I guess Dyrus, he's getting senioritis. He knows this is his last Worlds, and I don't know if I really think there's just the effect of him not caring anymore.
Yes, and there was just a myriad of mistakes by TSM, not just to try to shit on Dyrus, but also
Yeah.
you had B. Erickson going into the fight of Baron and wasting all his bursts on an Alistar who had his ult up as LeBlanc instead of going for, I don't know, the Kog'Maw in the back line or the Azir. It was just an all around poor performance by TSM, and that's not really what I expect.
It's what I expected from this game, at least.
I guess from this game, but there is a shining light. You have even though he had a poor KDA, he went 2-4-0. Wild Turtle did play exceptionally well this game.
Yeah.
Wasn't it wasn't any fault of his own. He played well. It's just that KT Rosa versus TSM. You really don't expect TSM to do much.
Yeah, another highlight, at least for TSM, is the ability to go 1v1 Nagne pretty much right under his tower to dodge the Azir ult and immediately get away. Was pretty good on Bjergsen's part. It showed domination. Like you said, Bjergsen, Wild Turtle, the only two people to show up. Dyrus was there. Dyrus was there to die. I didn't see anything from Santorin. It's the only thing that worried me about Santorin as a jungler is he often does not show up in games.
No. Well, I guess this game went to be as expected. KT takes the win over TSM.
All right, and then the next game we have, which did not go the way anybody expected, is Origin defeating LGD.
Yes, this was a magnificent upset. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. Expeke, Soaz, like you had Soaz doing the Expeke with
Yeah,
Expeke on his
exactly.
team. Like
Expeke is gonna make a backdoor game, and it really showed. And I think somebody on Reddit I read that mid-game Expeke and the guys realized that these guys weren't gods and that they could win. And it was just pretty much Mivy had a lot of plays with the Annie. The Annie Callista combo is working out really well, but you can't fault it. Imp had a great game.
Imp
He
did
was
have a great
4-0.
game.
Like, it really could have gone their way. Like, they had the early game completely, and then there was just a few fumbles there. Imp played great. Uh,
Well,
Acorn, the Malphite pick, this is the first time we've seen it this tournament, and I don't think it really showed up all too well, especially late game when you had like the Callista and the Annie and Oriana late game, and especially Vladimir's late game. I just think that potential burst that they wanted didn't come through, especially with the Vi pick.
and also with this game, Origin they basically exposed a huge glaring problem with LGD, and that is LGD is very, very reliant on Imp. It seems
Exactly.
like they don't have any other strategy outside of get Imp fed and then carry. That's the only, it seems like, well, like I said, we've only seen one game from LGD, but according to this one game, they are a very one-dimensional team, and Origin just exposed them.
Well, Godvy's a good laner, but he just played a supportive role with Lulu this game. So
Exactly.
maybe something would have been different, but they were already putting up the Kog'Maw comp.
And also, what we didn't talk about today was also the game. Well, I guess this is better for our next game that we discuss. I guess LGD gets upset by Origin in game two, and there really isn't much more to say about that unless you have something else to add.
Uh, no. Well, I'd like to talk to the fact that I think it was this is the first game they brought out the double TP for
Oh,
Oriana and Vladimir, and what that meant for fights. It meant Xpeke could always be there, and it meant Vladimir was also free to do anything he wanted because he could be there. Granted, what I really liked about this game is it told the tale of Soa was 0-3-0, and then he won him the game. Soaz went, yeah, Acorn's probably a better laner than me, but I'm still going to hold it out. Shot calling, that was really bad shot calling on LGD's fault, especially when Vladimir showed bottom with a wave. They should have immediately disengaged, fought back. Really could have fought the 5v4, but they really tried to stay on Baron. They got the Baron. They were poked down. OG was actually able to kill most of them, and Malphite TP'd back, but it was too late for Vladimir. A Malphite's not going to be able to stop a Vladimir. It really was bad shot calling on LGD's part, and I don't know who their shot caller is, but that loss is on them.
the Game of Thrones. They got Baron, but at the cost of the game.
Exactly, and even then they lost most of their people, and it was just, I don't know. Really, yesterday we talked about how Imp was a superior lane. Niels and Mithy really showed up this game.
They really did. But that's the expect of the Origin squad, though. Nils and Mithy have been pretty dominant over in EU, so.
Yeah,
But you really didn't expect them to do that well against LGD's bottom lane either.
no, especially like with Imp, like, whew, Niels showed up.
Yes, 609 on Nils on his Callista.
Yeah,
Oh, and also circling back around to the first game where we had Oriana take a teleport. That is kind of an odd choice on Oriana, in my opinion, because Oriana is a very immobile type mage. She's a control mage. She can control zones pretty well, but she is very, very immobile. So to take teleport on Oriana instead of something like a ghost or a barrier, or even in at night if you want to like go all in, is that's really telling. That tells me that it's Spec he believed in himself to be able to play Oriana, to be able to position correctly because he doesn't have anything to run away. He has no innate escape. He didn't. All he had is his flash. He didn't have a ghost. He didn't have any way to protect himself. And to pull out a win on an Oriana teleport, not even just a win, an upsetting win against LGD. I'm expecting big things from this Origin squad come the next couple games.
oh exactly. Yesterday we talked about how either TSM or Origin, if they want to make it, they're gonna have to take down one of these guys, then beat each other. I kind of think after today, Origin's the better team. They could beat TSM. Let's see about KT Rolster, but if they could pull another one, they might just make it past groups, especially if LGD doesn't pick it back up. But I do expect them to come back from that because that's not expectations of LGD, especially. Well,
Exactly.
we got another game, probably the most entertaining game to watch, just from a standpoint. SKT completely losing it against Bangkok Titans. Bangkok Titans completely dominate them.
They did. Bangkok Titans dominated SKT from the get go when Bangkok Titans basically threw away their lives in the first like 5v5 level one jungle invade, which has
Yeah,
happened every game today, by the way. When they
yeah,
basically just threw away their lives, SKT could not come back from that.
nope. Even with how many 22 kills to 7, BKT manages to take the game from almost a 20k gold deficit in 0 towers. SKT surrenders. No, they don't. Faker wins with Olaf mid. Marn gets his Rumble. Marn gets to play Rumble and not punished for it. And he went off. He first item Magi's on Rumble. Olaf went off like the only time people died in this game was when Faker went way too hard, and Bangy also would go too hard, and I think only maybe one or two catches that entire game. It was
Exactly.
complete domination.
On SKT's part.
Yeah, and it was complete BM just to make the Olaf mid. But G4 did lock in the Aurelia mid.
Again. Well, no, not again. He played Zed last game. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but still though, this is very very I guess saddening for BKT. Not even saddening. This is worrying for BKT. Second game, second time they got dominated, but I guess they're not playing anyone else on the scope of SKT and Edward, who they played yesterday, I believe. It's just BKT basically got the worst out of the way early, but they're still 0-2. But I don't. They have. It seems like they have some remnants of like actual strategy and actual like team play.
but
But when you're
not at
playing
this
against
level.
no, not at this level. When you're playing against SKT and Edward Gaming, you have Faker taking Olaf mid and solo killing Aurelia and just running around and doing whatever he wants. Like Faker was having a ball this game,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
Faker got to have some fun after yesterday where they kind of struggled. They kind of had fun today and picked it up. And who they struggled against today didn't exactly put up much of a fight. And the next game, H2K versus EDG, where in my opinion, Odoame was the only one that had an alright game of that entire squad.
yeah, EDG showing us how you shut down a Fiora.
Yeah,
Um, in the same vein, though, you have Def going 069 on Callista. You have Mako going 4012 on Annie. This squad, this EDG squad, is just they just
yeah.
tore through H2K.
Pawn got to bring out Cassidon. Did so much with the Cassidon. Uh, Darius, once again, we see he only got one more assist than the Fiora, and Odawame really took a lot of fights when he saw that he was being flanked, and he would flat out at least take somebody with him, which was something admirable of him because he wasn't getting much attention top, and neither was the Darius, and he walked away with a few kills under his belt.
EDG also really rotating around the map very, very
Exactly.
well.
They let the Fiora not have her way.
Clear Love showing us that farm alarm on Rek'Sai. Their whole squad just screams mobility to me. Darius, Rek'Sai, Caston, Callista, Annie for EDG. Like they rotated very well. They handled the Jets as well, and also this game was very very clean by EDG. They didn't get too greedy. They played their game. They finished it out. It was a very clean win by EDG, but H2K, I'm gonna need for you guys to step it up. Like I'm gonna need for y'all to show up.
It was saddening. Lulex really had a particular bad game. He got behind. Their vision got behind. There was nothing they could really do. They systematically lost the game. But I guess we can go into the next game now, which was Flash Wolves upsetting Coup Tigers. Coup
Mm,
Tigers are the favorites really in this group. CLG, they're expected to beat CLG, but today, whereas Gorilla showed up yesterday, he didn't show up today at all. Sword Art showed up fantastically on his Morgana.
Yes, he did. Sword art was amazing. His black shields were on point. His bindings were on point, and not to mention that NL was playing today.
Yeah,
And he pulls out a Varus, and they go at Praying Gorilla, and they kept their ground versus Praying Gorilla. And now in Sword Art, Praying Gorilla, they kept their ground.
yeah. For a sub to come in and do this well, I'm sure we're probably going to see more of him. I don't
Well,
know. I don't know.
according
I don't know. Go ahead.
according to Stake, it was always Flashwell's plans to bring in NL the second game anyway.
Uh,
The In a post game interview when they were interviewing Stake, Stake said that was it because who was playing yesterday? Oh my gosh, can't even remember now. Can't even remember who their previous ADC was because it doesn't matter. And they'll show them up.
yeah, I'm sure we said it like 10 times yesterday, but Prey did actually. He'd had some all right. He really had some good crits as Jinx. But what one person, from what I read, Karsa, they let him have his champion. They let him have
Yes,
Jungle Nidalee, and
yes, I was,
They let Maple run wild with the Gangplank mid. They let the
yes,
Gangplank mid get to that game time where he's just. I think at the end of the game, his barrels, even if he wasn't hitting anybody, it was like 1390 damage. It was complete. It was really bad news for anybody.
yes. It was just the thing is this game in the beginning, Coup Tigers were systematically destroying Flash
Oh
Wolves,
yeah,
but
they were taking down Stake.
they not even taking out stake. As Kuro got like 5, 6 blue buffs before Maple got one.
Yeah,
Karsa couldn't do anything. He kept on visiting top because Stake was doing pretty bad. NL and Sword Art were on their own. Maple he was struggling against Lulu, who has constantly refreshed blue buffs, so it was pushing him out of lane, and it was just looking real bad for Flash Wolves. And then I guess they just turned on that switch. Carshall was like, "Wait a minute, I'm on Nidalee." Maple was like, "Wait a minute, I'm on Gameplank," and they just turned it around.
and
It was pretty amazing to watch.
it's really heating up Group A. And
Yes,
to round out the other two teams playing in Group A, CLG versus Pain. Whereas yesterday, you and me both thought this could have been an interesting game. We really thought, like, if Pain was one of the two wildcard teams, they'd be the ones to show up. They showed up a little bit yesterday. They didn't really have much today.
no, complete 360 from there
Yeah,
yesterday. They looked
Zion.
like
Go
they
ahead.
did not know what they were doing. They're fumbling around. Like Pain Gaming played a better game yesterday.
Yeah,
But that's not to take anything away from CLG. I think you're about to mention something about Zion Spartan.
yeah. Zion really got to run wild with Olaf. He pretty much showed what Dirish could have done, should have done, and he didn't do. He didn't go super far off early, Olaf, but they showed you how scary late game Olaf can be. Doublelift really performed well on Tristana, but that's also late game Tristana. But really, the one person to shine out of this is I said Lustboy hit some ults earlier. Afromu was on point as Braum. Like,
Yes,
my
yes.
God, Afromu, super fantastic performance as Braum. Like,
It,
I'm legit. Like, he hit pixel perfect. Like, top range on a Braum ult, and it was just so great.
this is also another game that was really accelerated due to the fact that every team today had a level 1 5v5 like bush
Yeah,
check invade, and CLG came out on top of that with 2 kills to Payne's one.
yeah.
And after that, it was just go time for them. It's Smithy showed up with his
Oh,
15 assists.
he had some
Poe
great inside
Belter,
kicks.
yes. Poe Belter saving Tristana. Poe Belter doing everything in his plan, everything in his power to keep his teammates alive. And also, we have Poe Belter on Lulu. When has
Yeah.
that ever happened?
Lulu got through yesterday, and Lulu got through a few more times today, which makes me think maybe teams are really risking it in the fact that they're okay with going against a Lulu or they want a Lulu. Because Payne here last banned Mordekaiser, which means it came down to Payne if they wanted a Mordekaiser, which maybe Doublelift could play it, who knows, or Lulu, and they just gave it away again, which means people are more, they're freeing up more. And CLG actually banned Malphite, which makes me think a lot of teams are practicing Malphite. He really does add a lot to a team fight. So,
He he does. He does. I agree with this. And also, CLG at the top of their group right now at 2-0. It's this really looking good, but there's still some worrying trends about CLG. They still have the same problems that they've always had. It looks like they really don't know how to like to close out a game. They get a huge lead and they bumble around for a little bit before they're just like, oh wait, I'm 10-0. Let's go finish this.
30-minute game, but that's really a trend of NA in general. Games, especially in EU too, games are longer, whereas Korean, it's more methodical, surgical. They get it done. CLG, it's a little bit faster game than yesterday, more of a dominant game. They still have to throw down with Coup, but after the performance from Flash Wolves, it could be interesting. We can
It,
assume CLG is gonna Payne can Payne beat Coup. Don't think so. Do
yes.
you think they're gonna go 0-6?
Pain Gaming, I really hope they don't go 0-6. If they do take a game of someone, I really hope it is Coup Tigers because I would like to see Counter Logic Gaming as number one in Group A.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the CLG coup game because if they can beat down coup, that practically guarantees them out of groups.
It does. It does.
And especially if Flash Wolves beat coup, I'm not sure.
Well, that was it for Worlds today. Do you want to look how the you want to like talk about how the groups are standing right now?
Actually, I was thinking after Sunday's games, we could do that because then we would talk about after the first week of groups. We can talk about it where people are standing. Also, to keep this a little bit shorter, shout out to Sliver. Fuck you. But
All right.
I guess I will. Let's go over the games for tomorrow.
All right. So tomorrow we have first Edward Gaming versus SKT.
Gonna be a great game.
It is gonna be a great game. I don't know which way to lean either way. This is the group that I really don't care too much about this group. Well, it's not that I don't care. It's just that SKT and Evergaming are basically going to make it out. And you have H2K and Bangkok Titans. With H2K's performance, I really don't think they're going to make it out of group. So it's basically SKT, Edward Gaming are going to test each other. If I had to give it to someone, I would probably give it to SKT.
I'm giving it SKT too. Mm, they really show as a really good 5 man squad,
It
and
really
so
is.
does EDG. But this is gonna be really fun, really great game for me to wake up and have to go to work and miss, and have to read highlights later or watch it later. But I guess we're both saying SKT.
Yep.
Tomorrow, H2K versus Bangkok Titans. I'm giving this to H2K. They're the better squad, and frankly, they both these teams are 0-2.
And
They're
they're both in Group C, but like I said, Bangkok Titans has just come off of losses to Ever Gaming and
yeah,
SKT. If they're gonna show their hand or anything, they do it against H2K. So I'm gonna give this game to H2K also, but you have to remember that the Bangkok Titans have nothing to lose at this point,
no,
and you should be afraid of someone who has nothing to lose. So with that caveat, I'm still gonna give it to H2K, but it is shaping up to be an interesting game tomorrow.
yeah. Well, next game after that is LGD versus KT Rolster. Gonna be a great game. Gonna be a
Uh,
fun time.
Another basically
Clash of the
top,
Titans.
yes, Clash of the Titans, top tier teams fighting each other. When it comes down to LGD versus KT Roaster, though, after LGD losing it, getting upset today by Oregon, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to give it to KT Roaster.
Hopefully, they come back. They talk about whoever made that call. They don't make a decision like that. I still think it's going to go LGD's way. I still think Imp performed well. Godv's really good, probably better laner than Nagne. They just do not repeat what you did yesterday. Make better calls. Oh God! Yeah, of course, it would be a European team that, especially Xpeke, would do this. Gosh, Xpeke, like you knew it was going to be something like that. He was going to fuck with how we thought things were going to go, and now people are doubting LGD when LGD was like the favorite amongst SKT to win.
Well, see, the thing is, if KT Roaster beats LGD, then almost guarantees that either Oregon or Team Solo Mid are gonna make it out as well.
Uh, you know, you still got 6 games in total to base this off of,
Yes,
and
yes,
there's
but if LGD loses tomorrow and they lose
so or you thinking they lose to Origin
they lose
again?
if they lose in convincing fashion, and then Origin beats
Yeah.
them again, and it almost guarantees Origin or TSM making it out along with KT
Well, it
Roaster.
guarantees Origin. TSM lost to KT Rolster. We'll
Yeah,
see tomorrow because also I'm gonna give it LGD. We're split KT, so hashtag Team OnePark, hashtag Team Lumin. But then we got Origin versus TSM.
the
Uh,
bottom half. Well, not even the bottom. Well, yes, the bottom half of Group D.
yeah.
Well, not the bottom half because Origin's tied with KT Roaster at 1-0-0, but it's
What people
Origin versus
consider to be the bottom half.
TSM. Yes, what people would consider to be the bottom half of Group D are going at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's Speke versus Bjergsen, Soaz versus Dyrus.
It's the battle of everybody we know.
It is.
I'm
This is
I'm, I'm really excited to see Amazing play against TSM. It should be tomorrow is the day of fun games to watch
it is. It
because
is.
I personally feel like this game could go either way. Soaz and Dyrus both typically not seen as carry top laners. Usually they're kind of like just get by, get to the late game, and you'll be good. So they're like that. Whereas Amazing and Santorin in the same light, both very mid focused. So they got the same style there, and then bot lane Niels and Mithy pretty dominant now. Wild Turtle and Lustboy usually play safer early, so that's the difference between them two. And then Bjergsen versus Xpeke. I don't know who to give the edge to there.
It's almost a mirror match
It really is.
in three out of the five positions. And
Yeah,
they Oregon and TSM play really similar, but lately the one game sample size, Oregon has been they have been executing more than TSM has.
yeah,
So if I had to give this game to anyone, I'm really split. But I'm always gonna go with TSM, especially when it's going against Oregon. TSM 49, no TSM 51, Oregon 49 is how I would rate this game out of 100. It's just TSM needs to step up tomorrow. They need to show us that their boot camp was not for nothing. And
yeah.
if they can do that, then I would have faith in them.
I don't want TSM to go 0-6.
Me either.
But I'm leaning towards the stronger squad is Origin right now. TSM's been trending downward. Second half of their summer split, not exactly their best. Performing pretty good at playoffs, then getting 3-0'd. From scrims not going well, just demoralization within the team, and your two carries showing up but still not being able to win, and the fact that your top laner can't do anything. Your jungler, Santorin, nothing to spite him. He really didn't show up today. Lustboy caught a few times. Probably could have played a little bit better. I don't think he had a horrible game. I just think he had a bad game. But Santorin and Dyrus, horrible game today. Basically, it was the tale of the same coin. Soaz had a bad game. Turned out well for him. Dyrus had a bad game and continued to get worse. There's something off about this team's shot calling. TSM, uh, they got ran over. TSM got ran over, and they really have a hard time when they get run over. So I guess I'm gonna go Origin.
Okay, so we're split on that one too.
Then we got Invictus versus Cloud9.
Now, after Fnatic beat
They
Invictus,
don't seem as giant now.
no, they do not. And Fnatic handily beat Invictus. They destroyed Invictus. Cloud9, in the same vein, did the same thing. They systematically destroyed their opponents. AHQ, was it?
Yeah,
Who they played. And if Cloud9 shows up like they did versus AHQ, I'm giving this game to them. It seems like a return to form for Cloud9, return to
yeah.
the dynasty
Under
that they
pressure,
once were. Yes,
under pressure, Cloud9 always performs.
it is the power of the underdog.
And Cloud9 being one of my favorite teams. The only thing that worries me about this matchup is Rookie versus Incarnation. Now that Incarnation's pulled out the Vigar ace, is there something else you got, or are you going to fall back to old things? Not that bad. Incarnation's not bad about his old stuff. That Vigar was a surprise, but if he can hold his own and relying on high shot calling, I think this could be very interesting, and I'm kind of hoping it goes, and I'm predicting it goes in C9's way.
A part of me though kind of feels like Cloud9 pulled out their ace card in the first game versus HQ with the
Yeah,
Vigar mid. So, like you said, if they have something else up their sleeves, then hopefully this goes Cloud9 way. But if that was their ace card and they pulled it out in the first game, knowing that they have five more after this,
yeah,
worrying for Cloud9. But it is going to come down to Incarnation versus Rookie, in my opinion.
yeah.
I agree with you on that fact. But that being said, I'm giving this one to Cloud9.
Yeah. And then the last game of the day, Fnatic versus AHQ. It's going Fnatic's way.
Yeah, do we even need to explain anything about that? Fanatic 24/7 all the way.
Yeah, it's so dominant. Such a great team. AHQ, you fell down to. You have Mountain, first of all, and you fell to C9 in a 7th place. So I really don't know. I think that's very worrying for them. I mean, there could be a surprise, but Fnatic's team fighting, shot calling, vision, early game, late game, they have it all. And I'm just giving it to them.
Same. I'm giving it to Fnatic. There's Fnatic should not win. I mean, they should not lose. I'm sorry. Fnatic should not lose. And those are groups. Let's see. Group C, D, and B are playing tomorrow. Group A has a day off because they played 2 days in a row.
Yep.
So,
Should be interesting. Tomorrow's, whereas today was the game of upsets, tomorrow should be the day of Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans and interesting games in between. The let us have breaks between the Clash of the Titans.
Yeah. So that's it for day one. I've been OnePark.
And
You've
I'm
been
Lumin, and it's day two.
Yeah, day two. It's been day two. I'm tired already. So I guess we will talk to you guys tomorrow for day three of groups, Saturday, October 3rd, 2015. And go CLG, even though you're not playing tomorrow.